Tom Hanks shows up to an audition in 1982, and the casting room is full. 15 actors, waiting, no space, complete chaos. The casting director says, "We're running 3 hours behind. Come back tomorrow." Tom says, "Can I audition right now? Anywhere?" The director, exhausted and annoyed, points to a storage closet. "Fine. In there. You have 2 minutes." What Tom does in that closet, 4x6 feet, no lights, no audience, surrounded by cleaning supplies and broken props, doesn't just book the job. It becomes the audition technique he teaches for the next 40 years and proves that professionals don't need perfect conditions, they just need commitment. This is the story of 2 minutes in a closet that changed how Tom thinks about acting, how a casting director learned to recognize real dedication, and how the worst audition space became the best audition lesson. Location doesn't change the work, your commitment does. Los Angeles, California, June 1982. Tuesday afternoon, 2:47 p.m. Tom Hanks walks into a casting office on Melrose Avenue, 3rd floor. Elevator broken. Tom climbs stairs. Sweating. Los Angeles summer. Brutal. Humid. The kind of heat that makes you regret wearing anything beyond shorts and a t-shirt. But Tom is wearing slacks and a button-down. Professional. Appropriate. Uncomfortable. Tom reaches the 3rd floor, opens the door to suite 304. The waiting room is packed. 15 actors, maybe 20, all men, all roughly Tom's age, mid-20s, all here for the same role, supporting character, in a low-budget comedy. 3 scenes, maybe 10 lines, not glamorous, not prestigious, but it's work, it's a credit, it's something. Tom checks in with the receptionist, young woman, bored, overwhelmed. She doesn't look up, just says, "Sign in. We're running 3 hours behind. Might be a while." Tom signs the sheet, finds a spot against the wall, no chairs left. All taken. Actors sitting, standing, leaning, reading sides, mumbling lines, pacing, the nervous energy of competition, of scarcity. 20 actors, 1 role, 19 will leave with nothing. Tom has been here 2 hours, arrived at 1 p.m. for a 1:15 slot. It's now 2:47, still hasn't been called, still waiting, watching actors go in, come out. Some look relieved, some look defeated, most look neutral. The "thank you, we'll be in touch" face, the face that means you didn't book it, but you'll pretend you might have. Tom is 25 years old, been in LA for a year, moved from New York. Theater wasn't working, too much competition, too little opportunity. LA seemed like a better bet. Film, television, more roles, more chances. 1 year later, Tom is learning LA has the same problems as New York, just with better weather and worse public transportation. Tom works nights at a video store, Blockbuster, minimum wage, renting VHS tapes to people who treat him like he's invisible. During the day, Tom auditions, constantly, 2-3 times a week. Small roles, background, whatever's available, whatever his agent can get him, and his agent can't get much. Small agency, limited access, taking what they can get. This audition is for a film called Party Animal, college comedy, about a guy who accidentally gets admitted to a fraternity and has to pretend he belongs. The role Tom is reading for Derek, the protagonist's roommate. Comic relief. 3 scenes, 2 with dialogue, 1 silent reaction shot. Not a lead, not even close, but it's a named character. It's something. Tom prepared, read the sides, memorized lines, made choices, found the humor, found the character, ready. But sitting here for 3 hours, waiting, watching, the preparation starts to feel distant, the confidence starts to erode. 3 hours is too long, too much time to overthink, too much time to watch other actors, to compare, to doubt. 3:15 p.m. The door to the casting room opens. The casting director steps out. Woman, late 30s, exhausted, frustrated, hair slightly messy, makeup fading, the look of someone who's been seeing the same audition over and over for 6 hours and still hasn't found what she's looking for. She says to the room, "We're running really behind. If you have somewhere to be, you can leave and we'll reschedule. Otherwise, it's going to be at least another hour, maybe 2. Actors look at each other. A few stand, leave, can't wait. Have other auditions, have work, have lives. 5 actors leave, 15 remain. Tom remains, has nowhere to be. Video store shift, doesn't start until 7 p.m., has time, has commitment, stays. 3:47 p.m. Tom's name is called. Finally, 2.5 hours late, Tom stands, grabs his sides, walks to the casting room, opens the door. Chaos, complete chaos. The room is small, 10 by 12 feet, but it's packed. Actors everywhere. Some sitting in chairs, some standing against walls, some on the floor, waiting actors, mixed with actors, currently auditioning. No organization, no system, just bodies, noise, confusion. The casting director, her name is Janet, is sitting behind a small table. Another person next to her, producer maybe. Both look exhausted, overwhelmed, past caring. Janet sees Tom, says Tom Hanks. Tom says, yes. Janet says, we're so behind. I'm sorry, we overbooked. Didn't expect everyone to stay. We need to clear the room before you can audition. Can you come back tomorrow, 10 a.m.? Tom hesitates. Come back tomorrow. Waste today. Waste the preparation. Waste the momentum. Lose the character. Have to rebuild everything. Tom says, can I audition now? Right now? Janet says, there's no space. Look around. We need to clear the room first. Tom says, I don't need space. I can audition anywhere, anywhere you want. Janet looks at Tom, confused, annoyed, too tired for this. Anywhere. Tom says, anywhere. Janet points to a door in the corner. Storage closet. Fine. In there. You have 2 minutes. I'll listen from here. Don't expect me to watch. I can't see through walls. Just read the lines. Let me hear them. 2 minutes. Go. Tom looks at the closet. Small door. Probably 4x. 6 feet inside. Dark. Cramped. Terrible audition space. The worst audition space. Tom says, okay. Actors in the room. Laugh. Quiet laughs. Disbelief. Who auditions in a closet? This guy is desperate. Pathetic. Willing to humiliate himself for a shot at 3 scenes in a low-budget comedy. That's not dedication. That's desperation. Tom walks to the closet, opens the door, dark inside. Smells like cleaning supplies, shelves on both sides. Mops, brooms, buckets, rags, cardboard boxes, broken office chair in the corner. No room to move, barely room to stand. Tom steps inside, closes the door behind him, not completely closed, leaves it cracked so Janet can hear, so the sound carries. Inside the closet, Tom stands, can't see, dim light from the crack, ease adjust. Tom looks at the sides, can barely read them. Doesn't matter, memorize them already. doesn't need to see, just needs to perform. Tom takes a breath, centers himself, finds the character, finds Derek, the roommate, the comic relief, the guy who always has the wrong solution at the wrong time. Tom finds him, not in the room, in himself, in the moment, in the commitment. Tom starts, reads the first line, loud enough for Janet to hear, clear, confident, not shouting, just projecting, filling the space, even though the space is 4x 6 feet, even though nobody's watching, even though this is absurd. Tom performs, full commit, not holding back, not embarrassed, not self-conscious, just acting, in a closet, surrounded by cleaning supplies, with an audience of mops and broken furniture. The scene is comedic. Derek trying to convince the protagonist to crash a sorority party. Tom finds the humor, the desperation, the misguided confidence, plays it fully, physically, even though there's no room to move. Tom uses the constraint, uses the small space, makes it part of the performance. Cramped, trapped, desperate to get out, just like Derek, desperate to get into the party. The space informs the character, the limitation becomes the choice. Tom finishes the scene, 90 seconds, under the 2-minute limit, stands in the dark, breathing, sweating, waiting, silence. Tom doesn't know if Janet heard, doesn't know if this worked, doesn't know anything, just stands in a closet, hoping. Then, the door opens, light floods in. Janet is standing there, staring at Tom, not annoyed, not exhausted, shocked. Janet says, "You actually did it." Tom says, "You asked me to audition. I auditioned." Janet says, "In a closet, you just gave a full performance. In a closet, with no one watching." Tom says, "You were listening. That's enough." Janet says, "Most actors would have left, would have said this is unprofessional, or I'm not auditioning in a closet. But you didn't, you just did it. Full commitment, no complaints, no excuses, just work." Tom says, "You gave me 2 minutes. I used them. Location doesn't change the work." Janet stares, processing, then says, "That's the role. You got it. You're Derek." Tom blinks. "What?" Janet says, "You're cast. I don't need to see anyone else. You just proved something. You proved you're a professional. Professionals don't need perfect conditions. They don't need ideal circumstances. They just do the work. You did the work. In a closet, with cleaning supplies. That's who I want in my film. Someone who shows up and does the work no matter what." Tom says, "Thank you." Janet says, "No, thank you. You just taught me something. You taught me that auditions aren't about the room. They're about the actor. You didn't need space. You didn't need lights. You didn't need an audience. You just needed commitment, and you had it. That's rare." Tom steps out of the closet. The actors in the room are silent, staring. They watched this guy walk into a closet. They laughed at him. Now he's walking out with a job. They're still waiting. Still hoping. Still hoping. Still assuming perfect conditions will save them. Tom just proved perfect conditions don't matter. Commitment matters. Tom leaves, walks down 3 flights of stairs, gets to his car, sits, processes. He just booked a role from a closet audition, 2 minutes. No lights, no space, no audience, just commitment. The film shoots 3 months later. September 1982, small budget. Fast schedule, 10 days. Tom does his scenes, 3 scenes, 10 lines, does them well. The director notices, "You're good, natural, funny. Where did you train?" Tom says, I didn't. I just work. The director says, that's the best training. Work. Keep working. You'll do well. The film releases in 1983. Limited release. Doesn't make money. Barely gets noticed. But Tom gets noticed. Casting directors see the film. See Tom. Remember him. The guy who's natural. Who's funny. Who doesn't force it. Tom starts getting called back for bigger roles, better projects. Tom auditions for Splash, Ron Howard directing. Big budget, real opportunity. Tom goes in, reads well, books it. The film is a hit. Tom becomes known, not famous yet, but known, recognizable, castable. And through it all, Tom remembers the closet, remembers Janet, remembers the lesson. Location doesn't change the work. Your commitment does. 10 years later, 1992, Tom is teaching a workshop. Young actors, UCLA film students. Someone asks, what's your best audition advice? Tom says, I once auditioned in a storage closet, 4x 6 feet, no lights, no audience, just me and cleaning supplies, and I gave my best performance, because the space doesn't matter, the conditions don't matter. Your commitment matters. If you can only be good in perfect conditions, you're not a professional. Professionals deliver anywhere, in closets, in alleys, in parking lots, on sidewalks, anywhere. That's the job, not finding perfect conditions. Creating perfect work in imperfect conditions. A student asks, did you feel embarrassed? Tom says, no, I felt focused, because I wasn't thinking about the closet. I was thinking about the character, about the work, about doing the best I could with what I had. Embarrassment comes from self-consciousness, from caring what people think. But in that moment, I didn't care. I just worked. That's the difference between actors and professionals. Actors care about conditions. Professionals care about work. Another student asks, what if the casting director hadn't listened? What if you did all that, and she didn't hear you? Tom says, then I still would have given a good performance, for myself, for the practice, for the commitment. The result doesn't change the work. The work is the work. Whether they hear it or not, whether they cast you or not, you control the work, nothing else. So do the work. Everywhere, always. In closets, in chaos, in perfect silence. Just do the work. Tom is on set. The Lady Killers. Coen brothers. Between takes, the script supervisor mentions she's a casting director too, part-time. Tom asks her name. She says, Janet Morrison. Tom stops. Janet Morrison, did you cast a film called Party Animals in 1982? Janet looks surprised. Yes. How did you? Tom says, you cast me. From a closet. I auditioned in your storage closet. You gave me 2 minutes. I got the role. Janet's eyes widen. Oh my God, that was you. The closet audition. I've told that story 100 times. Best audition I've ever seen. Not because of the performance, because of the commitment. You didn't complain, didn't ask for better conditions, just did the work. I've been looking for that kind of commitment ever since. It's rare. Tom says, you taught me something that day. You taught me that professionals don't need perfect conditions. We just need commitment. That stayed with me. 20 years. Every audition. Every role. Every moment. I want to complain about conditions. I remember the closet. And I shut up. And I work. Janet says, I didn't teach you that. You already knew it. I just gave you the opportunity to prove it. Tom says, sometimes that's all we need, an opportunity. even if it's in a closet. Tom publishes a collection of short stories. One story, The Closet, fictionalized version of the audition. The actor is named David. The casting director is named Sarah. But the story is the same. The closet, the commitment, the lesson. Tom writes, in the author's note, this story is based on a real audition I did in 1982. I was asked to audition in a storage closet. I said yes. I gave my best performance. I got the role, not because the performance was perfect, because the commitment was. That day taught me, location doesn't change the work, your attitude does. I've carried that lesson for 40 years, through every film, every role, every challenge. When conditions are bad, and they're always bad somewhere, somehow, I remember the closet, and I work anyway. That's the job, not finding perfect conditions, working in imperfect ones. The book becomes a bestseller. The story The Closet becomes the most discussed. Acting teachers assign it, use it in classes. This is what commitment looks like. This is professionalism, not complaining about conditions, just working. Tom is 68 years old, Lifetime Achievement Award, AFI. During his speech, Tom tells the closet story, live, full detail. The chaos, the waiting, the offer to come back tomorrow, the decision to audition anyway, the closet, the performance, the casting. Tom says to the audience, I've worked with the best directors, the best actors, the best crews. I've been in perfect conditions, and terrible conditions, and everything between. And I learned something from that closet in 1982. Conditions don't determine quality. Commitment determines quality. You can have a perfect stage, perfect lighting, perfect everything, and give a terrible performance. Or you can stand in a 4x6 closet, surrounded by mops, and give your best work. It's not about where you are, it's about who you are. And the actor I want to be is someone who works anywhere, who commits everywhere, who doesn't need perfect conditions, just needs the work. That closet taught me that, and I'm grateful for the chaos, for Janet saying yes, for 2 minutes in the dark, for learning that the space doesn't matter, the work matters, always, only, ever. Standing ovation, 3 minutes. Tom stands, accepting, remembering, the closet, the cleaning supplies, the darkness, the commitment, the lesson that built a career. The closet audition lasted 2 minutes. The lesson lasted 40 years. Location doesn't change the work. Your commitment does. Tom Hanks learned that in a 4x6 storage closet in 1982, never forgot it, never stopped living it, never stopped teaching it. The worst audition space became the best audition lesson, not in spite of the conditions, because of them, because limitations don't limit professionals, they reveal them. Tom Hanks auditioned in a closet, booked the role, built a career, all because he understood the work is the work, everywhere, always, in perfect rooms and storage closets, on stages and in alleys, with audiences and without. The work remains, the commitment remains. That's the only thing that matters. 2 minutes, 1 closet, 40 years of lesson. That's not an audition, that's a philosophy. And it started in the dark, surrounded by cleaning supplies, with no one watching, just one actor, committing fully, to 2 minutes, to the work, to the belief that conditions don't matter, commitment does. The closet proved it. Tom lived it. Tom lived it. Then 40 years later, it remains true. Location doesn't change the work. Your commitment does.